We are live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm waiting for my co-host, my brother, the alien, Discreet, will be jumping out here in a minute. And then our special guest today, cast member of Put the Guns Down, a world epidemic, Justified himself. Our Focus Media, what is up, what is up, what is up? So let's give us a couple minutes here. We'll get Discreet on. There goes Discreet. We're going to get Justified on, so let me get Discreet. And there goes Justified. We're going to get Justified on, so just bear with us here for a second. There goes Discreet. Can you hear me okay? Good morning, brother.
I can hear you and see you, bro.
All right, let me get Justified on. Bear with me here, Discreet, for a second. I just sent him the invite.
Cool.
There he is. Good morning, Justified. Can you hear us okay?
Bang, bang.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. And Discreet, you can still hear us okay?
Definitely. Yep, I can hear everything. Cool, man.
All right. Well, again, Justified, before we officially get going, we want to thank you for the time that you are taking out with us and the Outsiders on this very important topic today. Very, very much so. And,
Yes,
for those of you just popping in, we are the We Outside Livecast, but today and once a week minimum going forward, we are officially the Put the Guns Down We Outside Livecast. And if you're just tapping in, last week we had the privilege and honor of having a conversation with the creator, director, one of the producers of this documentary film, which, if you're not aware, is going to be a 12-part documentary series. We're going to talk. We're going to talk some things, and this conversation is going to consistently go on with us. And that individual is Terry C. Carney Sr., who we had the privilege of having on last week, and it sparked a conversation that needs to be had week in, week out. And we put our brains together and see again.
Every day.
Every day. And, we've been lucky enough to have cast members such as Justified join us and have a very important conversation about the likes of putting the guns down and mental health awareness that comes down to that as well. So we are an authentic conversation. There is nothing scripted about what we're about to talk about. When we're outside, we keep it real. That's a true story. The only thing scripted is roughly the time that we were starting and the wonderful special guest that we're privileged and justified to have with us here today. Again, a cast member of Put the Guns Down, a world epidemic. We're certainly going to be talking about that and some other things, but I'm going to digress for a second. I first and foremost want to introduce the two of you. Justify, you and I have had the pleasure of having a conversation earlier in the week, but this is my brother, Discreet. He is out in the United Kingdom. Discreet, Justified, Discreet.
Nice to meet you, Justified, bro.
Hey, pleasure's all mine, Discreet.
Yeah.
I like the name, you know what I'm saying? That's how it's necessary to be discreet in these streets, you understand me? So
that's where it comes from when I was
power
younger.
in the name.
I didn't tell nobody nothing when I was younger. I was like, nope, keeping it to myself.
But with that said, Justified, we always like to give our guests the opportunity in their own words, especially for anybody that might not know of you or who you are. Please just let the Outsiders know, who you are, what you're about, and we're just gonna have a conversation from there, sir.
Hey, it's all good, man. Justified Smith, founder of Fathers in Hip Hop, CEO of Group Economics, and 20 plus years on this West Coast music scene. Just making an impact on the underground, you know what I mean? Just representing the culture the best way I know how, just trying to leave something behind, leave a legacy behind, man, while I got time here.
I can very much appreciate that. That's something I subscribe to, right? Because I talk to people all the time. The definition of rich to me is definition differently to people who think rich in the amount of zeros in their bank account, right? And at the end of the day, you said a word that's very near and dear to my heart, and that's legacy. At the end of the day, what are we going to leave when we do leave this earth, physically, anyways? Really, the only thing that carries when we are gone is our name. And for me, that's what a legacy is, right? What is your name? That's the richness. When you're no longer here, what people are really speaking. Of you. So I can very much respect and appreciate what you said there.
Real talk.
You know, everything you mentioned, the culture and you know, hip hop, you know, some people get it twisted, at least in my experience. I've been around the hip hop culture, man, since I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, right? So, you know, hip hop is truly a culture. Like you
So
said,
I'll stop you.
oh,
That
go ahead,
made me
Discreet.
laugh because this morning I was listening to "Don't Get It Twisted" by Thug Life, and yeah, you saying that just made me smile. That was weird.
But it's true. You know,
Mm,
it is. It's something that's really lived, and I appreciate how you put it there, as well, Justified.
mm,
And you know, for everybody that carries that torch, nothing but love and respect. And you know, before we do go any further, you know, with what we're talking on today, putting the guns down and you know, mental health awareness, I want to take a quick second, you know, to bring into remembrance today a very strong individual, young noble,
yeah.
you know, of the Outlaws. You know, sadly,
Mm,
a couple of days we lost his physical being, you know, due to, you know, what's out there. You know, people know certain things and what's out there, and at the end of the day, what's important and key to note is, you know, unfortunately, another human being is no longer with us. That's the one of the roughly 685 people a day that we lose because of gun violence. So it,
Rest
it,
in peace, Noble.
it's
yeah.
got to
It's
stop,
shocking.
people. Like we know
I'm
it's not
so
gonna.
shocked.
Everybody was shocked. Like
I just didn't
everybody.
believe that was the case, but I don't know.
Um, but that's
Mm,
what it's real life out here. And you know, we were talking to Terry earlier in the week. You know, we got to start somewhere, right? It's not going to happen overnight, but if we could turn 685 today to
Mhm.
684 tomorrow, hey man, that's a
exactly.
win.
Yeah.
That's one life that we're able to save.
Real
Mm,
talk.
You know, so you know, Justified, you of course are a cast member here. If you could kind of expand about you know, your role as a cast member in this movie and how that came together for you to be a part of this very important and necessary film and documentary, brought to us by a whole slew of great human beings behind it.
Right, right. Well, you know, man, big shout out to Suave and Terry. I wouldn't be a part, you know, of the film, you know, without those two bringing me in back in what I think 2018, 2019. Suave reached out to me and told me about the project, you know, that they were starting to film and introduced me to Terry, and it just like it was a no brainer, you know what I mean? To want
mm,
to be a part of it for what it stood for. But I believe they brought me into the situation to not so much address the problem, but to present the solution. And they were looking at Fathers in Hip Hop and the movement that we were moving as being a part of that answer. You know, it's going to start with the fathers coming together and producing and raising these seeds and sending good product out into the street. So let's just say, you know, as you say, people die every day. So as people are passing, children are being raised. So if we could put a hand on the children that are being raised and, you know, live up to the definition of fatherhood, I mean, don't you think? And of course, like you said, we can't get everybody, but if we can impact those numbers, that's a win. So um, to be able to come to the film and not really speak to the problem but be the answer was a blessing for me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know, when I'm sitting in the theater, I've seen the movie, you know, several times at the premieres and situations, and where they, from production wise, from editing, I mean, this film just takes you on a roller coaster
mm.
from beginning to end. It's not a dry eye. Anybody that got a heart cannot sit through this movie and not do one of
Yeah.
these. You know what
I
I
did.
mean?
First episode, I did.
You know.
I cried. Yeah.
So when I'm watching this movie and you know, we're in these theater situations, and when it comes into the part, you know, where fathers and hip hop is introduced, it's like the movie takes a shift. Even the music introduction to that piece is like a brighter day. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like where we start discussing the solution, and it always make me feel good when we're in the theater and when that piece comes up and I say what I say and then you hear the audience respond. It's like wow, like this is
Yeah.
dope. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
to know what they went through to make this movie happen.
Mm,
shout out to Terry Suave and the whole team, Eugene, just everybody, man. It took some resilience and some dedication because we got hit in COVID, you know, the COVID thing, and it's like everything stopped. And I remember the hope that I felt when they asked me to be a part of it. And I saw them like, you know, like, this is my way out. This is my opportunity to, you know what I mean? And
Really.
so when COVID hit and everything stopped, it was like, in this game, you go through so much disappointment. You go through so many broken promises. You go through, it's about to be cracking. You know what I mean? And you get numb to disappointment when you've been in the game 20 plus years, right? So it's like no expectations, no disappointment. So to see them finish this and push through all they went through and to actually be able to turn on the Peacock and see what they promised they was going to do, it mean a lot. It's emotional. It's real.
No, I was going to say that must be one of the greatest feelings you've probably ever felt in your life. Because you telling me that's how I would feel. It's like nothing's beating this.
Nothing.
Apart from the birth of your kids, obviously.
And it's regular because it's like just a part of your everyday life. You know, I do a lot. I move a lot. It's a lot going on. But it's like the look in people's eyes when I hand them the flyer and they're like, oh, I can check this out on Peacock. That's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's something
you don't
real
know
important.
the process to get here.
Yeah. It's not just any old movie, is it? It's not like just a feature, you know, this is real serious stuff.
It's real life. It's real, like this is real life, bro. Like, I mean, when I had the pleasure of speaking with Rachel on Tuesday, you know, Rachel Dares, man, I cried for a good like 5 minutes. I was talking. I got a soon-to-be 11-year-old daughter. There was a time in life I didn't want any kids because this is let's call it what it is. A spade is a spade. This is a fucked up world that we live in. But you know, to people and human beings like yourself, Justified, that can do the non-sexy things, right? Who wants to go out and start something like Fathers in Hip Hop, right? Like to put your time and energy and money and effort, you know, take sacrifice. I talked about this morning. I did a quick little live on my way to, you know, downtown Kansas City for work today. If you want to do certain things in life, sometimes you've got to make that sacrifice. You got to do the things that people don't want to do. But I mean, I'm Justified. Take it for what it's worth, man. It's worth it. It's worth it what you're doing. It's worth it. Like, you're right. It takes us as the patriarchs. Like, we got to bring this shit back to, like, when shit was, like, real. We're living in a fake world. We're living in a fake world. So let's at least, can I just say this one thing real quick to everybody outside? If we could take this 45 minutes to 1 hour a week out of your 168 hours a week that you are given in this life. If you take one of those hours and be a human, come back to reality with us, share this, repost this. The algorithm might not like me saying that or what we're talking about. I don't give a fuck. Because the goal is one person, then it's two people, and it's got to start somewhere. Because this is real. We're talking about your mother, your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your sister. We're talking about human beings of all kind around the world.
You gotta try.
It doesn't get any more real than that. Like, and if you're not on brand with that, hey man, it's time for you to leave this live cast, and I will pray for you because you need some help.
That's up. Yeah, man.
It's the main reason we're here.
Say that again, boss.
It's the main reason we're here to help each other.
It's all good. Like, you know, Terry always says, it's bigger than a movie. It's a movement. You know what I mean? If it were only a movie, that's one thing. But the intention behind it is to create a movement of awareness. I was just, this world is so crazy, bro. We did a big concert out here in Atlanta at the Atlanta Stadium, right? And was the hip hop culture. And I know great intentions were put behind this event. Shout out to my boy Shalatio and Blair, who, you know, put the situation together. But as I stood outside and was greeting people that were meeting me for tickets and whatnot, 3 or 4 different fights broke out.
What?
Like, I mean, like, full-on squabbles, panic, security, and then the dude to get his ass whooped, you know what I mean? Whatever. Nigga, I'm about to come place this. It's like you watching like, damn, bro, is this nigga fit to go get a gun and come back? Is he
Mm-hmm.
getting to the car? You got security trying to get him to the car and make sure he get off the property. And it's like, it's for me, this is the first thing I said. I'm like, damn, we can't do shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, thank God security was able to, you know, diffuse it, but it never should happen in the first place, right? Then, you know, God just been showing me things, how important this movement is, because it doesn't even take anything serious for problems. I'm walking into the Stater Brothers grocery store yesterday, and as I'm walking into the store, it's a dude, and he looking back like, "What you looking at, fool? What, nigga? This, what?" And it's a black man and a Mexican man, homie, and they across, and the Mexican dude looking back like, not really too much tripping, but it was like, bro, go in the store.
Yeah.
Like, why
Just
are
do what
you
you're here to do.
inviting this
Yeah.
situation that could potentially go bad? Talking about, you looking at me like you know me, homie. You don't know me. So what? Maybe you look familiar. Maybe he thought you was Idris Elba or something. I don't
Yep.
know, but
I had a
and it was just
Why did
like,
you
situation.
in that
immediately have to
moment,
go
I'm
there?
like, fuck, we're in a hopeless world. Like, this could really go left. All because two people that don't know each other walking past, one coming out the store, one going in, and now it's about to be some bullshit. Like, we got to do better. We got to be better, man, because everybody ain't, you know, what they say, I ain't no punk. How did he know that essay didn't have mental health issues? How did he
Mm-hmm.
know that he didn't just trigger some shit and he's already in his car? You trying to go in the store. Who's to say this motherfucker didn't grab his piece and just let you have it right there? Because that's
It's
the temperature of
moving.
the world we live in, and that shit is sad, homie. That
It is. It's fucked up. Just
something as
because
simple
you,
as crossing paths can turn into an altercation.
You know what? Go ahead, Discreet. I know you got something to say, and I'm going to hold my
I
thought
was
because
just,
I got something to say to what you were just saying there, Justified.
I was just going to repeat what Justified said. Just for looking at each other funny, it's just like, what is someone going to die because of that? It's fucked up.
It's crazy. We went to the fireworks the other night, right? As a family, we went to the fireworks. Got my daughter with me. Our 12-year-old nephew's out from Connecticut visiting, right? I hold down the fort. Everybody goes and grabs us some lemonades or whatnot. And you know what's crazy? You know, earlier, Justified, you were talking about being kind of like conditioned, if you will. You know, that nature versus nurture. Man, like where I grew up, like
Mm.
I was just nurtured, and especially now today with what you're talking, all these mass shootings and anything could pop off at any time. Like in addition to what you had just mentioned, you know, over the weekend in Chicago, I think it was Thursday or Friday night. Terry had sent me somebody was throwing an album release party. 14 people shot, or 18 people shot. At least we read at the time. 14 people were injured, 4 dead. You know, a couple weeks ago here in Kansas City, 18th and Vine, Sunday night, trying to have a good old party. Hundreds of people out there, people out here shooting. For what, man? And it's crazy because I'm sitting at the fireworks with my family. It's supposed to be a good time, right? I can't have a 100% good time because the whole time I'm sitting, there's the hundreds and thousands of people around me. I'm sitting here just making sure someone's not going to make a weird move that I got to try to just react to before something really pops up. That's
You got to
fucked
be
up.
alert.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up. Come on,
And I
You
man.
can't
Like,
even enjoy yourself. Like, everybody always thinks that I live like this great fun life because I'm at these events and they don't understand. Like, I'd rather be at home because every time I step outside my door, I'm at risk to
mm-hmm,
something happening potentially,
Yeah.
right? Covered by the spirit, no weapon formed against me will prosper. That's how I move. I live in that, right? But at the
Yeah.
same time, we're called to be conscious and smart. So it's like some stuff ain't worth me going to. If I can't move inside of my purpose at that situation, then there's really not a need for me to be there. It's an unnecessary risk in today's temperature, right? When you were talking about the event and parties and the 14 kids shot, it might have been maybe a year or two ago with my daughter. She wanted to go to this house party, and she sent me the flyer, and I'm like, hell no, you're not
mm-hmm,
going. Why, Dad? All my friends are going. Like, what's the big deal? I'm like, it's too much going on, and I wouldn't feel that I've done my job as a father if I see this flyer. The flyer says BYO Bree, bring your own bottle.
Mm-hmm.
You're 17.
We know how those go.
The fuck, I'm gonna
Trust
send you
me.
to a
I
party
used to
that says
throw
bring
those.
your own bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell her this, she mad at me, she can't go. Next morning, 3 kids shot at that party. At that party. Make the newspaper. Had I not been a father, had I not been thinking as a man that loves his children, and you know, you got too many parents nowadays that want to be their kids' friend. Too many parents want to make their children happy with their decisions, right? And
Exactly.
you know, and
I
even
don't
in
have
that,
that.
when I went, you know, the
I
next morning I
upset my
walked past her
daughter
door
every
after I
day.
seen the news, whatever, and I was like, you seen what happened at that party? And she, and in her immaturity, in her being a child, what that got to do with me? It wouldn't have been me. And I'm like, you just don't fucking get it. Bullets
The
don't got no
naivety.
names.
The naivety. Yep.
You know, my hope was, Dad, thank you for not letting me go to that party. Did you hear what happened? And
They
I
don't see.
believe in her heart
Mm-hmm.
that's what she felt. But just being a kid, and more importantly being my kid, it's like this, it's like asshole in our DNA. We got this
Yeah,
smart, you know what I mean? So she
yeah.
was just being an
I
asshole.
know
Like,
that.
what that got to do with me? It wouldn't have been me. You didn't let me
Yep.
go. So why are you talking about it? I'm like,
I upset my
have a
daughter
good
every
one.
day. I do. Literally
But
every
yeah,
day by things I tell her
well,
she can and can't do. Like every day she's like, "Ugh."
But you know what? I'll tell you this
But it's
because that's
tough.
part.
I've got
No,
to
you're
do it.
right, Discreet. But that's part of the responsibility of being
Mm,
not a parent, but
mm,
a good parent.
yeah.
Like, you know, to the
right.
point that you made justified, and you know, shout out to Prentice Banks, free that man, free Monster Yo, free Jay Burton. Like, come on, man.
Monster Yo.
Man, it's ridiculous out here. But you're right. Like a lot of it has to do with the conditioning of, you know, the parents and the kids. I think that's where it at least starts. I mean, again, everybody has their own. Again, people, these are experiences of our own individuals. We're not psychologists. I might
No.
have slept at a Holiday Inn the other day, but you know, I got real life experiences. That's
Bro,
what I'm here to share with you. No
we
different than I
got
know.
babies having
Yes.
babies.
Mm,
Parents that, you know, like it's kids having kids. So children are being raised by children.
Mm-hmm.
Children who lack the real understanding of life
children.
and protocol. So I mean, it's bound to get ugly when you got children raising children. And then you have, I always say this to people, those of us that are still here on this earth that are like, you know, 40 and up maybe or whatever, I'm 46.
Yeah, I'm 44, right there behind you.
We
So is
are the
Discreet.
last carriers of real truth. It gets watered down generation by generation, right? We my generation, the last ones that really had big, you know, with the big mamas and grandmas and Medias and and
Mm-hmm.
and a demand for respect to your elders. Like,
Yes.
so if we don't take that responsibility in our fatherhood and in our parenthood and keep giving those lessons, if I don't teach my kids what my grandma taught me and what my father taught me, and if I don't tell my grandchildren what like, the information is going to die and is being replaced with what is it, artificial intelligence is being
Mm-hmm.
replaced with bullshit. My grandson, 3 months old, this world is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
All he sees is fuckery, bro. Like,
Yep.
you know, he don't know what these kids don't have a Cosby show. These kids don't have the type of television programming that we had that kind of gave
Correct.
us a sense of pride, that kind
Yeah.
of
Yes.
built us up and showed us. Now we got Love and Hip Hop. Fucking, you know what I mean? If
Mm.
you're in the UK, right, bro?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever been on the soil here?
No, no, but I am going to one day, and that's
I
why I
finally
feel
forced him to get his passport, so he's on his
Look,
way soon
this is a
enough.
I
point I'm
want
about
them.
to make. If
Yeah.
it your vision of black men and Latino men in America
Right.
and black women what the fuck have you seen from way over there that shows anything positive about us?
I will tell you now, right, for a start, that I feel like I've got to help with this movement because I want America to be just a little bit safer when I come. Because one of the first things when I step in America, when I touch down, gun violence will be in my brain. People get shot everywhere around here. So that's part of my perception of America. People get shot every day in every state. So that's going to be one of the first things that you're worrying about. And you're constantly going to be looking around. So that's my reasoning. Like, I want to make America safer before I come over. Do you know what I mean? Because that's part of my perception of America. It's full of guns.
Man, it's full of guns. And you know, like I said, man, it's just the my agenda when I started, you know, Fathers in Hip Hop was to change the narrative, right? That when you think hip hop, you don't think positive. And it was a time when you did, when it in its origin. It was, you know, it was what it was. But now when you say hip hop is automatically a negative approach to it.
Oh, yes.
They're
So
related to it.
now that I'm able to navigate through certain spaces and I am a representation of hip hop. Let me show you what you're not seeing. Let me feed you what you haven't been fed. Let me change your mind about this thing called hip hop when we start using our voices to push movements like put the guns down and not I'm gonna shoot your ass when I see you on sight. We have to change the conversation in hip hop. And all these artists that got influence, like, it's bro. Even before the put the guns down opportunity, it was we used our voices in rap and hip hop to say, fuck that bitch, shoot that nigga, pimp that hoe, pack that gun, drink that gin and juice. We used our voice in a way that caused pain to our own communities, right? Well, now, nigga, you 46. I'm 46. Snoop ass 50 something. All these OGs in the game that contributed to the demise of our culture have the power and the influence to say, put the guns down. We told y'all to pick them up. Hey, homie, when I was a child, I thought as a child. I spoke as a child. But now that I'm a grown-ass man, it's time to put childish shit away. Stop trying to appease these kids and be like them and give them what they need, not what they want. And that's what hip-hop got to come to. And if I could be a frontline soldier in that, and if this movie can be an opportunity to push that thinking, then I'm walking in purpose, and I'm all right with that.
This can only grow. If it just seems impossible that it can't, because if it doesn't, there's some fucked up people out there. Like you just said, 50 Cent, Snoop. All these people should be involved. They should. And if they don't open their mouth, it'll be weird.
Co-sign
It'll be
Corona.
very strange.
We'll co-sign all these other products, but can we not co-sign life? Can we not co-sign? Oh, I'm gonna need a check if you want me on the film. Oh, talk to my no, nigga. This should be natural instinct. You a real nigga, right? Real niggas do real shit. Ain't nothing realer than saving a life. So to every artist that we done reached out to and asked for a drop or said, can you show up to a premiere? Nigga, you showing up to everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so
Come
true.
on. And
it's
like,
life.
Sorry if I get passionate.
No.
I really
We feel
get
the
mad
same
at
way.
these niggas, and I don't want to say names or like feel like I'm dissing because I'm not.
No,
I'm just speaking truth, and sometimes truth has a tendency to hurt. These niggas out here ain't using the influence that God gave them. But guess what?
Yeah.
Maybe they are. Maybe they just ain't playing for the same team. Because if a person cannot find it in their heart and to use their influence and to use their celebrity and to use their resources to push an agenda like put the guns down, nigga, you a bitch. You ain't on my side.
Yep.
And
I co-sign that. And this is your show. We're outside. We can say whatever we want. We ain't got no sponsors. Right here, what we're talking about is sponsoring life and saving human beings, saving their mental.
You know,
so you
I
say
ain't
whatever
no
you
gangster,
want, whatever you feel.
Hey, I'm a square in a circle of G's, right? I ain't gangbang. I ain't represent no hood. I ain't, you know, I that's not my background. I grew up around it in Compton, so I know about it. I've been around it. But guess what? My father in hip hop son, you ain't going that way. I'll
Mm-hmm.
beat your ass. He was my father saved me from the streets. He couldn't keep me out of the streets because I got to get in the streets, but
Of
he
course. Yep.
protected me from the streets by implanting a mindset in me to where this ain't what you gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
So that's why
no,
I
I'm completely
believe
with
that
you.
fathers can change shit because mine did.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
completely agree with you. My father came over from Eastern Europe, 17 years old, not speaking English, going straight into high school. Ended up working, and he's still with us. Worked 40 years in a warehouse overnight, holiday, missed that dude on holidays, but he did those things. He sacrificed, his overall well-being, his body, long term to provide, for myself and sister, and provide as safe an environment as possible. But also, like, I want you around. I want you to have a good life. This is why I do this. So it's not just about providing. It's also, like you're talking about, Justified, and with your fathers in the hip hop movement as well, sharing the real messages, keeping your daughter, keeping your son, whatever the case might be, from going to that party where you're like, man, I just don't know about this.
Save your child's life.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, because you
Let's
control
start
that.
there.
That's a choice. It's a fucking choice, people.
Yep.
Like, how you gonna let a little kid, straight up, little kid, and I'm just saying in general, maybe your daughter's maybe four, I think you said 14, 15, maybe at the time.
Nah,
Give or
they
take,
17 and 19 right now.
17. But even so, like, I'm talking to the parent straight up right now. You are the parent. Your child is a child. At the end of the day, if the child is telling the parent what to do and what goes, guess what? You ain't the fucking parent no more. Be the parent. Like, come
Hey,
on, what are we doing?
I had a revelation of my father, right? Like, as I got older and started having my children, right? Like, my dad was very strict.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
And, not abusive, but strict.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gonna
Same.
beat that ass. You
Yeah.
fall out of line,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that's your ass, right?
I got a few slaps.
But as I started understanding my role as father with my children, I told my dad, I said, while I don't necessarily agree with how you did it, because who wants to get their ass beat, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the how, but when I reached a point in my life where I understood your why, the
Yeah.
how didn't seem so bad no more,
Exactly.
because now I know why you beat my ass, why you
Yeah.
made me check in every hour when I wanted to be outside playing football, and all the homies was like, just gotta leave, you gotta, yeah. Why I couldn't go here, why you didn't let me do this, the why
Yeah.
outweighs the how
Yeah.
when you get that understanding. And that's what I pray for my daughters, is that one day you will understand my why, and how won't seem so bad. You know what I mean? So you can't be their friend. Like, and
No.
as me raising girls without a mother, my wife passing, and me raising these girls by myself, bro, it is hard because I don't have the good cop, bad cop. I have to be
Mm-hmm.
both.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
when my
saying.
Talk
daddy
about a
would whoop my
balancing
ass,
act.
my mama would hug me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Or, you know what I mean? So they don't got that. My kids don't got that. All they
Same.
got is this mentally challenged nigga that's trying to
Yep.
figure out how to fuck to raise y'all without fucking up your life by making
Yeah.
bad decisions for you. You know what I mean? And they don't get that though. Like, they don't. It's just kids want to be kids. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So instead of us worrying about the shooter, let's raise our children to stay out of the places where the shooter's at. Even though it
Yeah.
can happen anywhere, but we have to teach our kids how to think and how to move. Don't hang out with 10 crash test dummy, because you're gonna be the 11th. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
how to pick your friends. I don't let my children spend the night. I don't let, you know what I mean? Like, no, you're not
Yep.
spending the night. Like, fuck, you got breakfast at home. You know what I mean? Like,
I
I'll
know.
take you back in the morning, but there's not about to be no overnight
You do.
opportunities for
You're
nobody.
doing it. It's care, isn't it? It's because I love and care, and that's the way it is. I'm keeping you safe, and that's that. That's the way I am.
Be mad. Hey, my
Yeah.
kids, I say, look, you mad? Go put a cape on and be super mad, because your ass ain't going. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They didn't like it when I say that.
You gotta have some fun, but again, you gotta have some fun, right? You gotta have the light moments where and when you can, right? Because being a parent, Man, it is. It's a long, drawn out thing. And to your point from earlier as well, we could only hope as parents that one day they do understand the whys, even if it's 7 years down the road.
They will.
Like
They will.
they will. But it's a challenge because it's a balancing act because you want to give them that love, you want to give them that tough love, you got to give them that real love. That's what it is too, right? Like, to your point, Justified. Yeah, man, I caught some whoopings. It was nothing abusive,
Yeah.
But listen, man. Oh God, parents, like it's okay to be a little stern with your kids
Yeah.
these days, or like if you're gonna let your tablet or your TV babysit your kids to the point. One thing that I love about that we've been blessed about our almost 11-year-old daughter, she is quite the old soul, right? So you talked earlier, Justified, watching wholesome shows that had some meaning to it, like the Cosbys, right? I
Yeah.
remember the Cosbys. I remember Family Matters. I remember Full House. I remember, the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like my
Oh.
daughter watches that stuff.
Mm.
Yo, watch as
I
much
still
as
do, bro.
yo. So do I. Yeah.
Like I can't get into the new, you know what I mean? And when you're a child watching those things, you really don't understand the good game. It's like, Cosby Show used to be Monday. Every Monday, it was me, my brother, my mom, my dad. Like we all watched the Cosby Show together. Like,
Mm.
do families even do that anymore?
Mm.
No,
Or is
no.
everybody with their phone, everybody with their device?
Their own
People
thing.
don't have family dinner. I'm guilty of that. My daughters get their food and go to their room.
Yeah.
But when they were little,
Yeah.
Yes.
when their
Yep.
mom died,
Yeah.
that was every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Teach them to
Yeah.
pray over their food. Teach them
Yeah.
to ask God for help. These things are planted in my kids, and it says, train up a child in the way that they should go, that when they get older, they will not depart from it, right?
Mm.
That means it's going to be some spaces where they explore and rebel. But if you plant that seed in them while they're young and be consistent in planting that seed, me and my daughters, when they go to school, we read a devotional and we pray for them. Some days we running late and we miss it, but for the most part,
Mm.
we read and pray. I've read and prayed with my children all through their school. Before we leave to go to school, we're reading from this book and we're praying. I'm praying, God, protect my children as they go out. And that matters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying if we start parenting, if we start guiding and leading properly, we can change a lot
Oh,
of the problems of the world. Not just putting down the
definitely.
guns, but putting down the drugs, putting down the this, putting that, like, matter of fact, how about you never fucking pick it up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we,
But
like, hey,
starting with
I,
the
you
kids,
know
and
what I mean?
everything should
But
come
I don't want
naturally.
my daughters to pick up some of my bad habits. I need them to be
Yeah.
better than me. Don't pick up the bottle because it's hard to put it down. So while we're saying put down, it starts with teaching them not to pick shit up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So ooh, that's a good one. God just gave me that one right
No,
now. I never
no,
said it
it's
that way before.
damn true. That's
While
damn
we
true.
putting the
Yeah.
guns down, let's teach our kids not to pick up these
Yes.
habits, these
Yeah.
mindsets, these
Adults put them
strongholds,
down.
these
Kids don't
mental
pick them up.
slavery tactics that are being put on our kids.
Mm.
I don't judge nobody lifestyle, but bro, like really, I don't want to see certain shit every time I'm watching TV. I don't want to see men kissing when I'm trying to watch the Fresh Prince of
Mm-hmm.
Bel Air. I don't want
Mm.
like, come on, cuz, like how do we?
It's you want to know you want to hear something crazy, bro, and hopefully you are not experiencing out this way. But we live in Kansas City now. Before we moved here, like 3 months ago, we were in Oklahoma City for like 18 months. Before that, we were in Colorado for a long time. My daughter at the time was, I don't know, maybe second, third grade, something like that. She came home one day and she told us, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Told
Mm.
us that there's a litter box in the girls' bathroom because there's a girl at the school that identifies as a cat. That is a
What?
real fucking story. First off,
No, no, no. That's
I don't know
lies.
I don't know
Lying.
any cats that
Stop
go to
lying.
school. So
Lying.
if the girl identifies as a cat, why are we letting her to go to school in the first place? Cats don't go to school. Say
Bro, that's
and then
not real.
another this is real. This is crazy, bro. And then
That,
another in the same school district in Colorado, there's a
that is mad.
teacher got reprimanded because there was a young boy who identified as a dog and
What?
roughed, barked. I don't fucking know. And
It's fucked up. Like, what are we
And
doing?
the teacher got reprimanded because he didn't bark back at the student identifying as a dog. So,
That's
let's
pretty.
talk. Let's talk about mental health. Like
Yeah,
when we
That's mental,
allow our
bro.
children to go to schools where the schools who are supposed to be educating our children are telling, or at least, all right, maybe not necessarily telling, I guess, at least
Encouraging.
conforming, maybe, that it's okay that this,
Encouraging.
and there you go. Thank you. Encouraging that it's okay to have to go to the bathroom in the litter box because you identify as a cat, or you're.
I
I'm
just
sorry,
can't get my
man.
fucking head around that. That is like, what the fuck? No,
And
you're not
and
identifying as a fucking cat now. Sit down and fucking behave yourself.
and I've heard about it
Like,
in other
I'm
states
not
as well.
doing
I've
it.
heard about it in other states as well.
Oh, that's crazy. Sorry.
It is crazy, and like, like,
I'm speechless.
like, what can you say to that? Like,
Yeah.
Man.
But that's the world we live in now, isn't it? It's getting that mad.
it is that mad,
Mm.
discreet, and that's
Crazy
why,
out there.
pun intended, we can't be discreet with this topic
Right.
of mental health, because it's the underlying issue of gun violence at the end of the day. I mean, like Justified, you were saying earlier, what you experienced yesterday, just an everyday experience going to the store and somebody just looks at somebody, the wrong way. Oh, we got a problem? Nah, man, you might just look familiar, and that might pop off to something. For what? For
Yeah.
what? And
It's
that
It's
crazy.
not
that has
just
to
killing that person, their whole
go ahead.
family is destroyed now. How many people come from that person? Where does it tree off to? Like 100
Yes.
people that are now like,
I've been in more than one situation where I've been for one, I was at a house party, right? Shouldn't and I'm grown. This is not that, some maybe 6, 7 years, whatever it was. It was an after party, after an event. We went back to one of my people's house. We're in the backyard, we chilling, and then it's a fight. 10 minutes later, doom, doom, doom. Everybody ducking and like now, like how do I get up out of here? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We trying to figure a way to get out of this house because
yeah.
our cars are in the front. They're shooting from the front. That is like a crazy feeling, right? And then, nevertheless, when I get to my car is hit. It's the radiator. The bullet went through my radiator, and
Yep.
I'm like, bro, what if I was sitting in the car, or what
Yeah.
if I had been walking out to leave? Like it got that close to home that my car took a bullet through the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can't do. I ain't trying to do no house party, but it can happen anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact that shooting is man, I don't know, bro. Like niggas is dying over dumb shit. Niggas is dying over minute issues. You know what I mean? Like put the guy. I don't want to see y'all fighting either. But
Mm-hmm.
if y'all like squabble up, hug up, and go home alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I say. Have a fight. Have a
But
fight.
the movie will show you this behavior has been programmed
Yeah.
through what we watch, through what we hear.
Mm-hmm.
Being young, it says, like, oh, music didn't make me do it. I didn't go do it. But how do you know? How do you know that your subconscious wasn't being mind fucked into thinking that this is the solution, that this is okay?
I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell you.
And when you're a creator, this is why
Oh,
the call out to these artists and to the hip hop culture and to musicians and anybody with a voice, we have the choice of what we write and what we
mm-hmm.
say.
Yeah.
So that's a mental problem. If you're a grown ass man and you're okay with, I'm gonna spin the block and shoot a nigga in his face, I'm gonna beat a bitch down, I'm gonna hit her with a kick. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you to make you
Mm-hmm.
think that's okay?
Yeah.
And you wrote that shit, and then you recorded that shit, and then you release that shit. And then the A&R or the producer or the whoever that said, this is the shit, let's drop this.
Yep.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Do you not have, but see, that's why I'm saying, bro, this battle is not about flesh. This is a spiritual warfare.
Oh, definitely.
It
The
ain't about
process you just
it
said.
ain't about white. It ain't about none of that. It's about God's people, the enemy's people, and as well as I can make myself a vessel to God, there are humans who are submitting themselves to being vessels for evil.
Yep.
So when you listen, a choice has been made. A choice is being made. And when you know better, you do better. So you can't see your community dying. You can't keep seeing all these stories about kids being killed and go to the fucking studio and write a song about killing people. What the fuck is wrong with you? Excuse my language for all my political people that love me in the community, but this is real talk. And sometimes when you in Rome, you got to do as. Sometimes people won't understand what you're saying until you say it the way I'm saying it. They don't want to hear Mr. Rogers. They want to hear, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? Sit your dumb ass down and change your message.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're not going to listen to me say, guys, please stop the violence. Can we please just change and do better? No, nigga.
Fuck
Sit
that.
your dumb ass down and do something.
Listen to the fact.
That's how you got to talk to them. I can't go to Mexico and speak German. I can't go to Australia speaking French. Nigga, I'm in the hood. We in the hood. This is hood talk, nigga. Sit your dumb ass down and save a life.
Yeah.
Bottom line. That's how they got to hear it.
It's like that. Is it Cardi B? WAP? How, like, the process of that? Just like you said, yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is good. Like, what? And now we're going to let
vessels.
14-year-old kids are going to listen to this now.
You can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. This is an apple. This is an orange, nigga. Which one are you?
Yep.
Are you rocking
It's that
for
simple.
this or are you rocking for that? And if I identify you rocking for anything differently than I'm on, then let's take that same intensity that we have in gangbanging and ride for God. Nigga, let's smash on the enemy. And we ain't got to do it with guns. We can smash on the enemy with speaking the truth, with training our children the right way to go. That's how you bang on the enemy. And we ain't got to shoot the devil. No, we pray his ass to death. You feel me? So what side are you on? Ain't no hood like fatherhood. I was going to wear that shirt, but we talking about the movie today. But hey, if men can bang their hood, if they can bang their fatherhood as hard, like, nigga, protect your child the way you protecting that street you don't even got no equity in. You claiming a street and you or your mama or your grandmama don't even own no property, but nigga, you willing to die for that street. Nigga, die for your kids. I will get in front of a bullet for my kids. I will take a nigga out that's trying to harm my kids. But more importantly, I will train my children to not even intentionally be in an environment. My daughter, Dad, can I go to this concert? No. Why? Because you're always saying, look, because I've been around and I see this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you can't go.
No.
You can't go.
You know exactly what it's going to be like, so no.
Stream that shit.
Yeah.
Something, because you're not going.
Exactly. I'm the same.
You're not going.
No, and you know what? And you know what? I am talking to just everybody in the hip hop community, right? From something that you said, man, like, because even in one of the drops, I see myself, let's be real, the OG's OG. If he could come out and literally, this is what he said, not necessarily verbatim, but you can watch the drop on any of our channels. He essentially said, my brothers and comrades in the hip hop community, he's like, for of which, some of the problems that we might have even caused, not necessarily intentionally, but facts are facts, right?
Yeah,
you hear something over and over again. It's like the pretty girl being told she's ugly so many times. She might be the most smoking thing out there, but you tell the pretty girl she's ugly enough times, she gonna think she's ugly. It's the same thing, man. So I do think you do have that. You not only have the platform, but like if that's not on brand for you, well, to what you were talking about earlier, Justified. Hey, man, we kind of have a feeling. You ain't got to tell us, but we kind of have a feeling what team you're on. If you can't come out and just say that simple word, hey, man, how are we supposed to take it?
We all know, bro. We all know there's an agenda in the industry. Anything that is industrialized becomes watered down to multiply things, right?
Yes.
It's like grandma when she make that gumbo at the house, right? And it's fire, whatever, whatever. But then when the industry comes in and says, hey, we want to market your gumbo. Everybody loves your gumbo. Once they package that shit, they changing it, and it ain't original no more because they're changing ingredients to multiply it and serve a greater. And that's what's happening with our messages, bro. These artists are watering down shit in order to reach the masses, and because truth ain't popular,
Nope.
pussy sells. My daughter was engaging with music. She was singing with me and doing our thing, right? And I told her, you're not going to sing about this. I'm not. Why not with me? Not with me co-signing it and giving you your father's influence in the game to put you in position. I'm not going to position you to be a Cardi B. I'm not going to position you to be a Meg Thee Stallion. Nothing wrong with them as women, whatever, whatever. But this is not the message that my child is going to get out. And now, may she rebel at 2021 and say, that's on her, but I did my part.
Yeah.
God is going to judge me for what I did, not what she
Correct.
does. I did as long as I do my part. And that's the part about being the parent. I told my kids, we was riding somewhere, and I'm like, look, I know y'all might not like everything that I say to you or everything that I don't allow you to do or everything that just is wrong with me in your eyes, right? But I'm accountable to God. I have to tell you this. I have to place these restrictions. I have to, or I'm not doing my job. Don't be mad at me for doing my job. This is what I'm supposed to do, whether you like it or not. But I can't go before God and he say, Justify, what'd you do with them babies? Well, I let them run around and get trained in the neighborhood. I let them date niggas that wasn't shit. I didn't have a voice. No. If y'all fuck up, that's on y'all. But I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do my part. You know what I mean? So, again, it starts with the home.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We're talking about putting the guns down. That's one problem of many, but it all starts at home. Our jails are full of fatherless men who were confused, didn't know how to make it, and were subject to the neighborhood becoming that father that they were missing. Unfortunately, they got plugged in with the big homie who really didn't give a fuck about him, that just wanted to use him to go hit that lick, that wanted to make him go run that pack, and knowing that, let them get caught. Because if they make it back with my money, I'm good. But you little niggas go take the risk. Hey, nigga, they tripping over there. If you the real nigga, you go do the shooting. Why send the little homie? Why get the little niggas to be your shooters, nigga? If you go shoot them. Why take these kids who are fatherless and don't have any direction and take advantage of that and send them out to do your dirty work? That's a bitch move.
Because they're weak.
Sell your
Exactly.
dope
That's
yourself,
what it
nigga.
is. They're
Shit.
weak. They're weak, and the weak will continue to prey on the weak to do their bidding for them. I think it's messed up, because jumping on the mental real quick, to kind of what we're talking about, weakness breeds, an opportunity for darkness. Let's call it dark, and that devil's going to dance all over that. They're going to love that. And I think the messed up thing is a lot of that becomes when we're talking about, what you're saying there, Justified, about, it starts at home, right? I think, there's an opportunity for, children that do have the ability or the luck to have, even a parent in their home, because there's a lot of kids that don't have both parents, or they end up in the foster system, which is my wife and her family. My wife is a product of the foster system, and she's one of the very few. I mean, she went through some fucked up shit with her foster families, a lot of fucked up shit, but she had made the choice to, I'm going to overcome everything that I experienced, right? Again, it's a choice. That mental is a choice. And, especially if you have those individuals and parents such as yourself, or myself, that I like to think and helping my kid, walk the right path, because we can only control so much, right? Like you said, we can only control so much. But one thing that we can control if we have kids in our life, especially as parents, or even, an uncle, or just, a kid maybe around the block that you see every so often. We talked about it briefly with Terry last week. Like, you have an opportunity to be a conduit to that individual. You are going to be a part I mean, we know younger people absorb a lot of information, right? Especially at certain ages. Like, even if we don't know as adults, we might be at a birthday party, right? One of our nieces, nephews, birthday parties, whatever. There might be a kid that you end up meeting one time and one time only in your life. You might have a 5-minute interaction with them, if not. But you would be surprised at the impact that, depending on the context and what's going on in that conversation, of the impact that you could have on the individual. And it might be right in the moment, it might be a couple weeks later, it might be 7 years down the road, right? But like, we as patriarchs, I think we need to tell people that it's okay to be vulnerable, right? You know, because a lot of people out here, and this was a big hot topic. Shout out to Big Court and the Holden Court podcast. They had Baby Jade on last week, and man, they had a very vulnerable conversation, right? And you know, the theme of his kind of like social media behind that this week has been, you know, we as men, especially like you said, Justified, you're 46, I'm 44. So that, you know, you were born in like 79, 78, something like that, right? I'm
The
an
end of
81 baby.
78.
You know, I'm an 81 baby. At the end of the day, we definitely grew up in a time, at least I'll speak for myself, generationally speaking, you know, it wasn't okay to be vulnerable. You had to be a man. You couldn't shed a tear. You just had to walk that fucking path. But,
Right.
you know, later, and that fucked me up in life. Like, I'm an alcoholic, bro. I haven't drank in 4 years, but a lot of, I think, the reason that I became an alcoholic was a lot of underlying issues as a kid growing up and dealing with shit with my family and my parents. My mom was an alcoholic. My mom was a gambling addict. My father was an alcoholic as well. Like, my family was just a family of addicts, right? And you know, for a long time of my life, man, I hit the bottle. I fucked with some pills early and mid 20s to um to desensitize myself to the feelings that I was having, because I grew up in that environment where it wasn't okay to talk to therapists. It wasn't okay to share your feelings. Nah, man, you just fucking toughen up. You pound on your chest and you keep walking like a man. I'm gonna tell you right now, I did that till I was about 35. Man, my life was fucked up. I stopped drinking. I replaced it with writing and music and sharing my vulnerability through music.
Amen.
The way that I know, I'll tell you right now, I'm one of the most powerful human beings for that. The vulnerability that I've offered to myself, the vulnerability, more importantly, that I've offered to people that I have relationships with, relationships of any kind, my wife, my daughter, Discreet, whoever, has given me so much more power in the last 4 to 5 years than in the first 35 plus years of my life. Let's even call it maybe 25 years, when, you know, once you get to about those teenage years, you can start like putting shit together, right? The most powerful I've ever been is because I've chosen to be vulnerable. What are your thoughts on that? On any potential power of being vulnerable, if you will, because that's a bad word for some people. Certainly people growing up in our generation.
Well, I think, like, you know, I'm being put in a vulnerable position now, even, you know, sitting here talking with you about this topic matter, because when we're out here in the public eye, right? I was just telling somebody yesterday, like, and I wasn't planning on having a tear for him when I said it, or when the passion came out. I said, it's hard being in the spotlight. That's vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
To have people expect more from you than they expect from themselves, to people to hold you to a higher level of whatever than even God himself does, because you're justified. You can't do this, or you can't be seen doing that, or you can't say this, or you can't, like, man, why? You do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm correct in thinking that just stepping outside and standing for something and making yourself available to God's calling, that there's no more vulnerable position, because you're automatically put. Martin Luther King was as strong leader as he was, but he was vulnerable. Malcolm X was a strong black leader, but he was vulnerable because he was spotlighted. He wasn't the only one saying, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
peace walks. But he was the spotlight. So when people like Terry Carney and Justified and Suave and Ice-T, when we make ourselves the mouthpiece of a movement, we've become vulnerable, because now we're there is a spirit assigned to each and every one of our purpose. And once you step into your purpose, that activates that enemy to your purpose. So understanding your purpose and having the courage to walk in it makes you vulnerable to the attack. Because as long as you're not walking in your purpose, as long as you're not being the vessel that God has called you to be, you're okay. You're unbothered. You're not. But when you use
You're
your
like
voice and
Switzerland.
step
You're like
out there,
Switzerland, just chilling neutral,
I'm a
just
target.
watching. Yep.
I've made myself vulnerable to attack because I've chosen to trust God that no weapon formed against me will prosper, but I'm still out there. I'm still a target. If somebody doesn't like our movement, they're not going to bring up the names of all the people in the community that feel how I feel, that love how I love, that move how I move. They're going to say that nigga justified, or that light-skinned, bald-head motherfucker Terry Cardi. You know what I'm saying? They gonna attack us, bro. We have made ourselves vulnerable to people's opinion because we've chosen to use our voice and spotlight something that's bigger than a movie. It's a movement, right? And if I could, because this thought was coming to me while you was talking, and it's so relevant to the movie, right? We're in the same. When you had Nintendo when you was a kid.
Oh yes, yep.
What gun games did we have on Nintendo?
Duck Hunt.
Stop there, because that's the
Yep.
one I was thinking.
Yep. Duck Hunt, man. Literally gun in your hand.
We shot ducks, right? Ducks. Had the little piece that taught us to shoot ducks, right? Then I think about when the other game, Contra.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
Contra?
Contra, Super
That
Contra.
was,
Yep.
but even though it was guns, it put it in its proper place, right?
Correct.
It was war. They were military, right?
Yes.
And then the gun games, they went into more, Call of Duty, right?
GTA.
These are military. These kind of situations make sense for guns,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay. But then you get how do how how do we plague this hip hop culture? Oh, we're gonna get these niggas Grand Theft Auto where they shoot and kill each other. Huh? They made Duck Hunt and Contra for that. But for you niggas, we're gonna get y'all Grand Theft Auto and we're gonna show y'all how to kill each other. We're going to embed this message of self-destruction through a video game to where you're sitting on the game and you're consciously shoot that motherfucker, get him, cuz, shoot that bitch.
And over and over and over again it happens. And to your point as well, like how many times can you come back from a video game, right? If I'm sitting here playing that video game,
You
right?
get to hit a button,
You keep coming
bang,
back.
real life. Ain't no reset button on these streets.
Yep. And it's crazy. And it's crazy too because all the other things that go in it. Beating women, beating prostitutes. Straight up, my boy Hassan Sai. Shout out to my brother Hassan Sai. I've known Hassan since he was like 8 years old, maybe even longer. His father had a joint on Fairfield Ave in Bridgeport, Connecticut called Pizza and More. Had this dude that worked there. He lived in the Greens of Bridgeport, Connecticut. All right. He would come back the next day. We would talk to him when he's on his pizza routes, and he went to the Greens, and he thought it would be funny. Go see this prostitute, pull her into his car, hit her a couple times, and he thought it was okay because she's a prostitute. And this is real life shit happening, and now we see it in a video game. Something's wrong, people. Something's wrong.
We are what we consume. If you sit a child in front of the television and play the ABC videos, how to count, the online is a information. It's like anything you want to learn is there. What did they market to us? Shout out to Daz. Some gangsters are might laugh, but Daz has a thing out right now where it's like a kid's learning. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have seen it,
Hey,
actually.
it's for
I
Apple.
have seen it.
He has lent his influence to something that is culturally correct, right? And that's DPG, that's Dog Pound Gangster. But as a child, he thought it. Now, to me, that's gangster, that you've tapped into this form of distributed information and chose to put something out that's going to help our kids. Now, you know, that's a step. Salute to that. When I seen it, it's funny. Like, oh, this nigga dad got the little kid. This look like some old Reading Rainbow ass shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to respect it and say salute for that. You know what I mean? He and his marketing team or whoever came up with that, that's good. Who approved that? Who you with? Whoever approved that, whoever said this is a good idea, let's do this. I could tell what tree they dropped from, possibly.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because nowadays they making fruit, so you know it might not even came from the tree. But it's just it's about choices. I you know, I am a gun owner, right? And I'm gonna just, you know, look. Like I always hear him say, I'd rather be caught with it than without it, right? But for me, I have it, you know, to protect my home. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Me myself, I don't know if scared. I'm cautious about going out in public with it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to have to use it.
Correct. Because
I don't want
there's
to
a
kill
lot of power
nobody.
that comes with that, bro.
I don't see what problem I could face in my day that I would have to, you know. But I get it. We're in that temperature where you kind of gotta have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, for me, I don't want to have to use it. I don't have a gun because I want to do this to a nigga, or you know what I mean? That ain't what it's for. It's like, you get to knocking on my door, I'm gonna get to cocking on my Glock. You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
different story.
And
Yep.
that's what that's for, to protect. You know, is not to be predatory. You know what I mean? I'm not showing up. You know, I don't even show up to, man, as a grown ass man. I didn't have weird ass dudes that call themselves having beef with me or whatever. What, meet you, nigga? I'm at
What
home.
was this after school? 3 o'clock at the willow
Yeah,
tree. Let's go.
yeah.
Come on.
I told him, I said, dude, nigga, I'm a 40-plus-year-old man, my nigga. I am not fit to come meet you at the gas station so we can fight, or you could lead me into an ambush where I end up not coming home to my daughters.
For
You got
real.
me fucked up, bro. Nigga, if you want problems, you know where I'm at. And that was an open invite, nigga. Pull your ass up to my house, nigga. I'm going to let you in. Look, you going to walk in, but you're going to limp out.
Yep.
Either that or get carried. So I'm not accepting any invites to bullshit. Let bullshit fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, but don't touch me. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Like, yeah, nigga, but I don't need, you know.
I don't want to be in that situation.
I
That
ain't even trying to
carries,
go there.
God forbid that you would be, you know, and it, no pun intended here, justified. You know, should you find yourself in that scenario, like, yo, that carries a lot of weight for the rest of your life. To take someone's life,
I don't know if I can live with it unless
man.
it was in a protective state. If
Correct.
it was me or them, I'd probably be all right. But even then, you
True.
might
But well, that's
suffer
what I'm
some type
saying.
of
Even in that
psychological. Like,
situation,
bro,
you're like, wow,
you gotta
look what
be
I
a
did.
mentally disturbed motherfucker to even pull the trigger. That shit takes some lack of love of life to even want. Like, they say, if you pull it, you gotta use it. But I might just have to pull this motherfucker just to get you niggas up off me so I can get up out of here. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to kill you. But back up.
Because I'll protect myself.
Don't you take another step. Nigga, I'm gonna shoot you. Like what Eddie Murphy tell old lady, I'll shoot you in your pinky toe, bitch. You better back the fuck up. Something, you know, you got to get a nigga up off you sometime. I get that.
No, you have to. But you know, and then like you said, hopefully you never have to be in that situation. But there's a lot of weight that comes with having to do that, let alone choosing to do that, right? Like you said, if you're choosing to do that just for whatever reason, you know, there's a lot of mental things going on, underlying there that needs to be addressed as well. But I think, circling back around to, what you've been saying, Prentice said it earlier as well, it starts at home. We can control things, having a gun. Yeah, I'm a gun owner myself. I don't like it, but again, sometimes you need to. But you know what? Having an 11-year-old daughter, almost, she knows about it. She knows the whys behind it. And, for certain things that we may have to put ourselves, or certain scenarios, hey, man, we control how we educate our children. Right? Again, that's a choice. One thing that's been a theme of today is choices. We've been talking a lot of choices today. And you do have a choice as a parent to communicate what you're going to communicate with your kids. And like, we're as open as we need to be in certain scenarios with ours. Everybody's parenting is different, but like, yeah, our child Jupiter, she's got a brilliant mind. I said earlier, she's an old soul, and she is well and wise beyond her years. So like, we have to be a little more upfront with her than we would maybe some normal 11-year-olds, because we got to let her know what's what. And we also want her, and this is another part of what you talked about earlier, when parents are out here these days trying to be best friends with, their children. We are open and honest with our child in the ways that we can and where it makes sense, when you can, with a 10 and 11-year-old who's going to at least comprehend that shit, right? But I'll tell you this, with us being open and honest, that's what's going to make her down the road feel comfortable with coming and having conversations with us, because we're very open with her about shit, right? We're not trying to be her best friend. We're trying to be real with her. That way she understands that the importance of, whenever she has a question or something to address with us down the road, that there's going to be no judgment, like, because life is going to be life, and sometimes shit happens that we don't control. But that's what we control as parents, from what you're talking about. The fathers in hip hop movement, like, that needs to be continued to be shared. And we shared your information here today. We're going to keep on sharing it as well. But it's worth noting that fathers in hip hop, mothers in hip hop, like, be a parent in hip hop. But we're talking about, your community organization, Fathers in Hip Hop, right now. It does start with us. It does start at home.
It does.
Be a patriarch.
And I think, like, somebody I'm reading the comments as they're going by. So to speak to, the mental health component, that conversation is necessary, because I think if you don't really know, you think that mental health is just being schizophrenic or being, I'm learning through my own life. Mental health is a everybody thing, right? It's either you have a healthy mental health, or you have a sick mental health. So things happen in life, right? Me, it wasn't gun violence, but I lost my, my wife and my mom back to back, 11 months apart. Had I not had God in my life, had not have the support of father, family, and friends, that very well could have turned into a mental health crisis. Because trust me, my mind was everywhere. So we all deal with mental health. It's how we deal with it, right? And then you have these severe cases, and I'm sure, like anything else, there's levels to it, right? But for me, I'm able, like, there's thing, and I'm not like a professional, so I don't even know if I'm saying it right or if it's relevant. But I know I'm the way I am because of things that I've been through and how I've mentally developed because of it, right? I got this slash across the back of my head, right?
Yep.
23 stitches. Happened in a room full of dudes I hung out with every day, smoked with, drank with, kicked it with, and I leave leaking. And so now, as a 46-year-old, I tell people, I said, I don't do Peter parties, and that makes it funny. But I don't kick it in a room full of niggas. Why? Because I got some post-traumatic stress from what happened to me in that room full of familiars. So I don't put myself in a scenario. Like, dudes be like, Just, what you doing? We supposed to come over and chill. No, the fuck you not. Now, you can come over if I'm having a little party and there's some females and the vibe is right, but I have a problem sitting in a room with 6, 7 other men, especially when it's the homie who ain't your homie, and this nigga don't like you because you justified and you got more bitches than me and you got more money than me. And nigga, I don't like you. and we sitting in the room and you just waiting on a reason. That's mental health for me.
Yeah.
Because of my experience, I've had to alter the way I move in certain situations because it had an impact on me, right? But I'm just using that as a small example of that's
mental health.
I haven't been diagnosed. I ain't getting no pills for it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got a prescription written out. But nigga, I got post-traumatic shit because of me being stabbed and left for dead by niggas that I kicked it with every day. So I don't want to hang out with you niggas unless we're spiritual brothers. You know what I mean? So any day is a day to snap. My teacher told me when after my wife and them died, she was like, "You're being strong. You're being strong." Well, in order to be strong, in order for me to keep my mental health right, I had to find something to do. Right? I had to go hard. I had to take my career seriously. I had to get on the grind. If I would have sat at home sad, ain't no telling what that could have catapulted me into.
Yep.
I might have ended up with my strap in my mouth and like, I can't take this. But because I found a way to deal with my potential problem, that's how it's still that way for me. If I'm not working, if I'm not walking in my purpose, I'll lose my damn mind because I still got shit that hits here.
Yep.
But how do I deal with that?
Correct.
Go do some work in the community. Go put the guns down movement. If Justified is not walking in his purpose, I don't know what I'll do. This shit is what keep me from going crazy, is knowing that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. They say an idle mind is a devil's workshop, right? If I allow myself to become idle and not to be in motion, they like, Justify, you one of the most consistent. I have to be. Because if I'm not consistent, then I'm being resistant to the calling of my life. And that's the only way I can have good mental health, is to stay walking in my purpose. I can't give up. I can't let any challenge defeat me. I don't have a choice. My baby's all I got. I'm all they got, right? If there's no me, what's going to happen to them? So I stay focused on my purpose. Man, it's been times, and my business partner, if he was here to attest to it, it's been some gaps to where the movement wasn't moving. And Justified wakes up, takes his daughters to school, comes home and get back in the bed and worry about what money I ain't got, or worry about how I'm going to do this.
Yep.
But because I've had God's spirit planted inside of me, it's a fight. You got to get back to it. I get back to it. Like, hold up. God ain't never failed me. Hold up, nigga. You've been through this. You've been through that. You did this. You did that. God have never failed you. Get your punk ass out the bed and get back in your purpose. And that's how I climb out of depression. That's how I climb out of anything that is trying to stop me from moving how I'm supposed to move. I'm not exempt from the attacks. If I don't know what
anything, you're
tomorrow
opening
holds.
yourself up more, like you said
Make me say
earlier.
I give up, but hopefully not.
I think that speaks exactly to what you talked about earlier. When you're doing the work that we are choosing to do and be those vessels and those conduits to the light that needs to continue to shine in this world, because it's good and bad. It does make us vulnerable, right? And I think that makes us more prone to those attacks that you said. And the last couple of months that I've been experiencing with, the ultimate reason of why I moved to Kansas City to begin with, and all, dope opportunities to be an asset to people, because that's what I want in life, right? Like me, I'm a simple dude. I want to take care of my family. I want to be an asset to others, and I want to make music. That is all I want to do. I want nothing more in life, honest to God, because if I have those three things, I'm good. Right. And I've experienced kind of what you're talking about, right? Like I just knew I was moving the right direction in a lot of different avenues. And then, bro, literally one thing after another had like 15 grand that was supposed to come in. Well, that something happened with the sale of the house. So now that's 15 grand that we're banking on as a family.
Right.
Fuck, what are we going to do? My dog died completely unexpectedly. The very next day, my wife was suffering tension headaches. I thought, and we didn't have no money to fucking take her to the doctor because of this 15 grand not coming in, right? So that happens. I'm sitting here like monitoring her. God, I might have to take you to the hospital. We ain't got no money. I'm gonna take her regardless if we had to. We had to ask people to borrow money to put our dog down. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, but it's the ebbs and flows, right? And it's the tests. And I think, I want to say this real quick from what you just mentioned there and what I experienced the last couple months as well. When you are doing right in the world, if you are moving with intent that is of pureness and with the right integrity, you do make yourself vulnerable. I very much agree with what you said earlier because you are shining a light. And I was talking to my boy LeBent. Shout out to LeBent. I was talking to him the other day. We're talking about the balance, right? I told him, I was like, there's 101 ways to get to 100, bro. There's 93 and 7. There's 6 and 94. There's like you gotta have
That's
that
dope.
balance in
2
life.
+
And
98.
bro, for real, it's the truth though, and
Right.
and it is because there is a balance to life, and I think such individuals such as yourself, such as myself. I know we lost Discreet. He might try to pop back on, but Terry C. Carney, Suave, people in the comments, we thank you for the support. People like you who see what's going on. We are given the challenges that we have in life because we're balancing it out for the weak-minded individuals that can't. And I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but the balance has to be balanced somehow, some way. So sometimes you might be that 93%. Sometimes you might be the 50%. It's a matter of walking the path that's been laid for you. That's what we could do is walk it,
Man. Yeah, bro. We just again salute, to Terry and Suave and Eugene and Rachel, just everybody out here in my region, Regina Weatherspoon Bell and Hakeem Chrome. Like, it's going to take people that believe in what we're trying to accomplish to step outside of their comfort zone, make themselves vulnerable to lead a movement as big as Put the Guns Down. Like, people are going to, I had somebody think when we said put the guns down, he's like, well, I got my gun right. I said, I ain't telling you don't own a gun. I'm telling you don't do stupid shit with it, dumbass. Like, take time to watch the film instead of being so quick to find a reason not to support it. We ain't got nothing to do with the amendment. It ain't got nothing to do with your right to carry. It has the right to decide when, where, and how you're going to use that gun. If I'm arguing with a man over a woman, you know what I mean? Like, that's not like, we need to have a questionnaire. When to use a gun? Argument over a bitch? No. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Protect your children? Yes. Save your life? Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's from a different hood? No. We need to have the 10 commandments to fucking when it's time to use a gun. And senseless killing is not on the menu. It has to be taken off the menu. We can't. If a nigga beat your ass, nigga, take your ass whooping
Take the
and call
loss.
a nigga out, like, call him out to a refade. Like, nigga, let's run that back. Not let me go
Willow
home and I'm
Tree,
gonna come
3
back and
p.m.
kill
Let's
you
run it.
because you whooped my ass.
Damn true.
Or
It is.
you're so scared to take the ass whooping that you won't even do this first.
That's
so
part
reactionary.
of the problem. A lot of
Be
people are
mad
scared.
enough. I'm gonna tell you something, bro. And I could be a buster. I could be whatever a motherfucker want to call me when I describe this scenario. I had a scenario, and this was years ago. And I'm justified. I'm fresh in the game, right on a little record deal. I'm in the area that I'm living in, and it was some dudes that didn't like us. They didn't have no reason. They were from like, back then, record labels were like rival gangs and shit. You know what I mean? For what? But anyway, they didn't like Justified, and I seen they caught me slipping at the liquor store, and so it's like 3 of them and 3 big niggas. I'm 19 years old. I'm young, just, you know what I'm saying? And they talking shit, and I ain't talking shit because I know where I'm at, but I'm not saying. I'm like, man, y'all tripping, woo, woo, woo. Big nigga, pow, sock the shit out of me, right? Stumble back a little bit. But here's me. No weapon formed against me. This big ass nigga should have knocked me out. I should be unconscious on the ground getting stomped out right now. Right? And I said, you got me, my nigga, but I'm about to make it home. Like, y'all got me. I left. I went, come on, ain't nothing hard to
For
get your
what?
ass. I'm not about to, there's 3 of you niggas. I'm 19. You niggas is like some 30-year-old bullies. You got me, nigga.
Yeah.
Anger. I got in the car. I called my nigga from coaching like, bro, these niggas just socked me in the front store, man. These niggas, he like, come get me, cuz. I got one nigga, we go back like these niggas up. And I'm with it because I'm angry.
Yeah.
And I'm hurt and I'm embarrassed.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm on the way. But on the ride to pick this nigga up, I had that cane movement and I don't know whatever his name was. Boys in the Hood, the Cuba Gooding moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm driving to go pick the nigga up to come back with the whop and let these niggas have it. And it was like, stop the car, Just. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
You got a son at home. What's gonna happen after? Y'all go back and kill these niggas, y'all going to jail, or the niggas coming back to kill you. If we can take, and sometimes we don't, shit happens so fast, you don't have that moment to think. Thankful for me, I didn't have a strap in the car, because I might have made a bad decision, because I was hot. I wasn't that hot that I was supposed to fight these 3 big niggas by myself. I was like, you got me. But my first reaction was to go call the homies like, hey, this nigga just socked me. Who? Man, that big nigga Dre over there. Nigga from, oh, come get me. Come get me, cuz I'm over here. I'm on the way. Let these niggas, they don't have it. But between point A and point B, I chose life, my life. Because even if I took them out, I might be putting my own life in jeopardy of retaliation or jail. So choose life. I got put in a situation where I had to choose life. And that night, a different decision could have changed my whole life. So I had to take that L, took that embarrassment, but I walked away from it like, nigga, you big ass bitch, you hit soft in the mother. Your big ass should have knocked me out, nigga.
Yep.
So that was my win. And I'm sure his homie was like, oh, cuz, you ain't even knocked that nigga out.
Yep.
He took your shit. I didn't fall down. Nigga, it was like, right? And even in that mind, I knew, like, nigga, I'm supposed to be knocked the fuck. I'm supposed to be deboed right now.
Yeah. I've had
The
that
Holy
situation
Spirit,
in the club.
the protection over my life, softened that punch. Because that nigga was supposed to knock me out, bro. That, no way about it. Like, and like, I'm a fat, stocky nigga now, but 19, I was thin, skinny, nigga, had some fly ass waves and all the bitches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? he was supposed to knock me out. But God spared my life. So what type of fool would I have been? And that was the thought that I had in that car, is like, nigga, you should be knocked out. Like, you already won.
Yeah.
God protected you. Go home to your son.
Yep.
Don't go pick up Monster. You know what I mean? Don't go back and spray these niggas. For what? You're alive. I protected you. You're good. Take your dumb ass home.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I called my guy like, bro, I'm good. I ain't tripping. But he was a vessel for the other side. He was all with it.
So he was ready. He was ready to go.
He was ready. Like, let's get it. Why was he ready? Because he was a crazy motherfucker. He had mental issues that he didn't give a fuck. Nigga, they hit you, little homie. Let's go get these niggas.
It's wild because sometimes those will be the people. Not always, but kind of like you were telling your story earlier when you were sitting in that circle of homeboys and you had that unfortunate experience that happened. Now you're like, nah, don't fucking put that in there. And then it may not be yours. It might be a homie of a homie. But, some people, you don't know them until you know them, right? Like, you just don't know. And people that don't have the right sense about them and they might have some mental issues, at the end of the day, those are the people that see red and green, right? That's it. They see go or don't go. And, I commend you for that scenario because very easily, like you were in the process of retaliating, right? And, something was like, nah, man, it just don't make no sense because you're right. Not only was it going to be not only were just you involved in the other individual or group of individuals, it's also the collateral damage that you were talking about that would have came with that. Let's say you did go and do that. Well, now your son's collateral damage because dad ain't going to be
All
around.
that.
All the
It's a
collateral
domino
damage that
effect.
comes with it. The amount of
One
That's what I
bad
people
was saying
that.
choice
earlier.
changed multiple people's lives.
Mm.
And it's even to the point to where I don't even like look, like I said before, I'm not from any hood. I'm not a gangbanger, never have. I say cuz because that's just the culture. I grew up around a gang of
Mm-hmm.
Crips, my bad. And it's habitual sometimes when I'm talking about stuff of that nature. But I never say cuz when I'm talking to the mayor or, you know, the city council people. I know how to
Yeah.
conduct we're in a safe space right now, right?
Know your surroundings. Yep.
Right. But I have homies that will ride for me. I have people that I don't see that
Mm-hmm.
ain't seen me in years that I can call. You know what I mean? But if I love them, why would I call them to go crash out for me and risk that? I don't want
Exactly.
no blood on these hands. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
ask God to to fight all my battles. I'm going to
Mm.
ask God to take care of all my problems. I'm not going to call a homie that I'm supposed to love and say, I need you to go do something to somebody for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Exactly.
trust God. Now, it was an instance where somebody came at me online one day and made like a little threat, like, I don't know what it was. I know what it was. He called me out on some shit like,
Mm-hmm.
and that nigga justified, nigga, woo, 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 I'll eat you alive, bro. Woo, 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 woo. He said some shit, right? And all I did, I shared it. I said, look at this clown. Next thing I know, my inbox is hit just. Where this nigga at? Where I'm like, bro, we ain't where.
Mm.
Look, this same dude called me about maybe 2 hours after that post. He said, hey, Just, I'm sorry, man. I was talking about a rap battle, bro. I wasn't trying to like, no, nigga, that ain't what you said. He's like, look, he said, could you please tell your homie to stop calling me?
No way.
One of my niggas that hit him on the messenger
Mm-hmm.
app.
Mm-hmm.
But look, it was crazy because he's like, nigga, you better leave my little bro alone, nigga, if you want to see your wife after she get off of work at Circle K today.
Oh.
This nigga did a little, he went through his, oh, your wife here? All
Yeah.
right. Hey, bruh. He's like, man, some nigga from Compton called me talking about my wife, and bro, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I'm like, hey, nigga, I'm like, I don't think nobody gonna do nothing to you, bro, but they like, sometimes you can't
Just be
just,
careful.
you know what I mean? And it's like,
Mm.
it was funny to me. It's like
Yeah.
he had a whole nother, and the thing is, I don't even know what homie he talking about.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
I can
homie
imagine
never
that sort
even
of
told me.
situation.
All I know is this white boy called me and was like, "I'm sorry. Tell your friend to stop calling me." I'm like, wow.
Yeah. But he's brought that on himself, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean?
I still don't
Well,
know which homie hit him up, but
Yeah.
somebody took it upon themselves to let dude know, don't
Um, yeah.
leave Justified the fuck
it's
alone.
Yes.
well, you got to be careful what you wish for sometimes
Yeah.
because sometimes your mouth, your actions, as the good old saying goes, is going to write checks that your ass can't cash.
Don't
And it
Yeah.
sell no
reminds
wolf
me,
tickets if you ain't ready to bite.
yo, for
Exactly.
real, yo, it was hilarious. That reminds me back in November. My wife and I, we were guests of X Rated and Tech Nine. Shout out to both of them. And we had OG Dooney, Discreet Dooney. This is
Oh,
when we went to Kansas City. And
love
we had
uni.
Dooney. We were in Tulsa,
Mm.
and it was a stand up crowd, right? And there was these three people in front of us, kept like banging into us. Like then it became, we were just like, hey, just be careful, people here, yada yada yada. We're cool. We're just here to enjoy a good show, right? And they keep banging. And my wife don't play. Like my wife will throw. I'm scared of my wife, bro. Like I will never lay a hand on any woman at all. But like if it came down, like if my wife turned into like a zombie type of shit, and like I had to fight, like yo, I'm running. I'm fucking running. My wife will get down. I straight up. So my
She
wife,
about that life.
yo, she is. She's sitting here, and because now it's getting to the point where it's like, yo, like now y'all are being disrespectful, right? So I see my wife. I'm just sitting here. My wife's clenching up. I'm like, oh God, I just want to enjoy the show. I was like, because we're guests of these individuals, right? It's their
Mm-hmm.
show. I was like, I don't want to have to explain to X-Rated or Tech Nine why the fuck my wife knocked somebody the fuck out. I mean, it's a cool story, but like,
Right.
you know, Dooney had used the restroom to go get a drink or something like that. Vanessa, Dooney's wife to be, our sister, was there. So Dooney comes back, and he, there's a little talking going back and forth at this point, because now that the dude is specifically being disrespectful to my wife. So again, I'm not looking to get physical, but you ain't gonna sit here and disrespect my wife, especially in front of me.
Now,
Hey
now,
man,
now we got
bro,
to do something.
bro, just turn your head and watch the show. Turn the show. Now, mind you, the people that we make friends with everybody because we're that type of people. So like we've got like Dooney's over here talking to this dude who ends up being like a jiu-jitsu fucking champion or some shit. Dooney pulls back up. Vanessa lets Dooney know what's going on. Dooney looks over at me, and Dooney just gives the eye. And I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, I looked at the dude. I was like, yo, please turn around and just enjoy
You don't
the
want what's about to
motherfucking
happen.
show. For the betterment of you and your group, please. And luckily he did. We just want to have a good time. But that's the thing, too. People will pop off for sometimes no reason. Just for what? Just puff your chest out?
Test.
What's that
Alcohol
going to...
doesn't help either. Alcohol doesn't help either.
No.
There's an opposition to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I tell myself every day. That when I wake up and my feet touch the ground, the devil big mad. Because he know I'm in my purpose another day.
Yep.
And he has to activate those who are under his influence and have made themselves vessel to his agenda.
Yes.
They say when you have a higher calling on your life, and we all have a calling on our life.
Absolutely.
That's not the point. The point is when you accept and walk in the calling on your life, you're vulnerable because now you're in action, and now the enemy has to come up with a plan. I'm going to take this nigga Justify's mama and break him. Didn't break me. Oh, 11 months later, I'm going to take his wife. Didn't break me. Single fatherhood. This, that. But nothing has broke me because I am grounded in the fact that I have a purpose, and I know God's vision will be greeted by God's provision. And I'm just a man on a mission. I'm about to get up here and sound like God is on a mission.
Preach
And
it, man.
provision.
Preach it.
Yeah, but I ain't trying to preach to you niggas. But when you understand your purpose and you're not afraid to walk in your purpose, no matter how many people may walk away from you because of that purpose, you have to stay in that purpose. You have to, even in this entertainment, me and my business partner, we was throwing these concerts and we doing this and doing that. And they were good shows, good feedback, but we were walking away not fruitful, right?
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, bro, as long as we continue to book artists that are serving poison to our community, God is not going to allow us to prosper.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm father in hip hop, and I can't, be pushing peace and positivity and then bring an artist on the stage to represent the movement that's talking about killing another nigga or pimping out a bitch or whatever. God is not going to bless this. But just God knows who he is. And this is the excuse I used to tell myself. And it was relevant then. I used to say, but I'm the light in the dark. I got to be in the dark because I'm the light. I'm the positive nigga in the room. I'm going to affect the negative before the negative affect me. And that's all true. But we also know, I don't know if it's up here, say follow the wings. I don't know but my mantra was follow the wings. So one day I had to ask myself, if I'm saying follow the wings, I have to move. I have to come out of this place so they can follow the wings. You can't follow me if I'm staying in this shit.
No.
I can't do it. Now I'm community events. I cuss. I'm a cusser, right? But I cannot do a show and allow artists to cuss, especially when I'm saying that my event is family friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's hard to find some clean rap that's not gospel. Do I like gospel rap? I'm okay with it. But it's okay to just talk about life and experiences without having to cuss.
Yeah.
And there's so many artists that want to be on my shows that I can't let them be on my shows no more because I do not stand with your message. Your message is not in alignment with my purpose. No, I'm not trying to get you to change what you're talking about. I just can't fuck with you.
Yeah. I think
Go
there's a
over there with
story.
that.
There's the story
You know
about
what I'm saying?
Nas, he sampled one of Michael Jackson's songs, and Michael Jackson said to him, "You can, but only if you don't cuss." So on that track that Nas done, he doesn't do no cussing. I think it's on. It might have been Illmatic. I'm not too sure.
Hey, these
But
artists need to. Hey, I tell them, I say, hey, at least bring me a. But it's not even about the cussing, because you can. I can say this. I'm gonna kill a motherfucker. I'm gonna kill this man. One is clean, one is cussing, but they both. So it's not the cleanness in just the language, but the message has to be right.
Yeah.
I don't want your radio edit of how to kill a man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the radio edit of fuck these hoes. I don't want the message to go out on my stage, not on my watch.
Yeah.
And I might listen to the shit in the car on the way home and love it. But
Yeah.
as a responsible person walking in my purpose, I cannot distribute death. I cannot be a distributor of destruction. I cannot lead my people the wrong way with bullshit. I'm strong enough to listen to it and not go do it. But everybody in that crowd might not be.
Exactly.
So it's all about being responsible. It's all about being accountable. It's all about being a vessel for something. If you don't stand for something, you sit down for anything. You know what I mean? Or however the saying goes. But put down the guns, you bitch ass nigga. I'm
And
just playing.
kids,
It's,
and
Put the
kids
guns
don't pick
down.
them
true.
up.
Put the
It's
guns
true
down.
though. It's
Put
true.
the guns down, man.
Yeah.
Discreet. Any final? We're gonna start wrapping up here in just a couple minutes. But
I was going to say,
Discreet,
put the
what do you got for us?
guns down. Kids don't pick them up, because it goes back to the kids, and it's like you just said, just right. We can listen to that music, hip hop, and we can go back to like the 90s and understand, we're not going to do it. But the kids, like my daughter listens to Eazy-E. She's just started getting into it, and I loved it when I was a kid. But now I'm thinking I need to let her understand what that's about, and not just don't go down that path.
Well,
That makes me
I
nervous.
think this is the thing. It starts with the trend. Like, my daughters might listen to certain stuff, but the conversations that we have, they know that's not it. That's not real. So we have that conversation, because when I hear them listening to stuff, I'm like, what the hell are you listening to? Like, baby, why do you think you're walking around here depressed all the time? Because you keep listening to this depressing shit. Turn that shit off. You got me depressed. I don't want to hear that shit. Because music carries a vibration.
Yeah.
And bro, when you want to make love, right? You know what song to play to get them draws down, right? When you want to get hyped up before an event, you know what song to
You're
play
getting in the
to
mood.
get you hyped
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
When you want to go kill a nigga, you know what song to play to go do that drive-by. Shit, nigga, MC8 had a fucking record called Music to Drive By.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And that's my nigga. I'm not attacking him, but I'm just saying you had a record called Music to Drive By.
Yeah.
Yep.
This music is going to influence a drive-by.
There's some
Of
Biggie
course,
lyrics that
he
I do
went
not
hard,
like.
and I'm like I said, 8 is my guy. Like, so I'm not trying to say anything bad. I'm just telling a fact. Nigga, you had a record called Music to Drive By.
Biggie is a legend. I love him. He's one of the best to ever done it. But some of his lyrics I listen to now, I do not like them. I do not fucking like them. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, look, if I can, I don't know if it'll work. Hold on. No, I don't want to do that. Is there a way I could I can't turn my camera view around, can I?
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Right there.
Yeah.
I done booked MC8, Compton in the house. You know what I'm saying? Dub C that came to E4. Like, I done booked all these dudes on shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would love to be able to go back and bring them all back, but for a purpose and to say something. We need to. There's no reason and it's, I'm West Coast, so I'm gonna say West Coast, right? If me and Terry decide we throwing a Put the Gun Down concert tribute show, Why would you, nigga? I gotta pay you to come to, and I understand if it's gonna be money made, but we should be able to throw a free event.
Yes, especially for
Sponsored by the
this.
voices of the West Coast to come and drill this message to put the guns down. And
Yep.
if you send me a rider, and if you send like nigga, look, we'll get you a nonprofit. We'll give you a charitable tax write-off. Nigga, come
Mm-hmm.
lend your voice to the movement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's a whole lot of other stuff y'all will get on and co-sign and talk about. You'll get on there and gossip about the latest rumor. You'll give your voice to bullshit. But if you are not going to give your voice to putting the guns down, there's no respect. No love lost, but you lost respect. I love you because I'm
Yeah.
supposed to. God command me to love my brother. But the
Yeah.
Bible does not say thou shalt respect your brother if he ain't doing some respectable shit. So
Yeah.
if you can't lend your voice to put the guns down, we ain't got nothing to talk about, bro. We ain't, and like people will try to take a positive and turn it into a negative and be like,
Yes.
oh, Justify said you a bitch. No, I ain't said that.
No.
Justify said you. No, I ain't said that. All I'm saying is, nigga, use your voice and help us get these kids to understand they need to put the guns down. If you could promote inaugurations and Trump days and whatever, nigga, you could come help us say put the guns down. Not saying that you haven't done anything valuable or admirable in the community, but there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing more important than saving a life.
Exactly. You
And
can't argue with it. You
if you
can't.
can't pick up your cell phone for 2 seconds, I counted how long it takes. For
Mm.
2 seconds, put the guns down. So let them see you say that. Send that video to Justify. Send that video to Terry. Send that video to Swab. You're sending dick pics to these hoes. Nigga,
Mm.
pick up your phone and
Mm.
say, put the guns down.
Mm.
It's shorter than the nuts you're trying to get in front of a bitch, right?
There's,
So,
Yep.
there's
nigga,
no
pick up
excuse.
your phone and say, put the guns down and use your influence to influence these youngsters to do the right shit.
True
And
story.
that's the end of my request.
Yes, that's the end of the show.
Man, stamped approved by the Put the Guns Down We Outside livecast. And I know Terry's watching right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Big T, we might have to have a conversation with Justify just said, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I so happen to have a 10,000 seat arena that is open and available on Sunday, October the 25th. And
You
I
better
just so
call
happen
me. You
I
better
got
call
some
me, you light
I need
skinned
some I
white
need
black
something to
guy.
do. I need something to do with that 10,000 seat arena. It's booked. It's booked.
Bro, call me and call
I'm
Terry and let's put. Hey, this is what we got to do. If if everybody challenge somebody, if each one reach one,
Yeah.
call somebody, tell somebody. We're trying to make a movement. It's bigger than the movie. It is a movement. The movie is just a seed planted in the ground in hopes of a fruitful
Barking.
harvest of people putting
Mm.
the guns down. Man, I know I got sponsors. I got, if we put this together, we can make this happen. Holler at Terry. But you just spoke it into the universe, nigga. And hey, and this is what I always say: God's will be done. God's vision, God's provision. If you set the date, set the place, and it's in alignment with God's will, ain't no doubt in my mind that it's
so
gonna
it'll
be
be.
done.
So it'll be. So I think we can get on the phone because I know we could put something together. I got the building. I got 10,000 seats to fill if we want it. So we should talk about what that could look like because I know for a fact that
Hopefully
we can
shit
put it
Like I
happens.
together.
said, talk to Terry.
Yep.
I'll round up the troops, man. I just finished. I know I can get Compton AV to come rock with me.
Yeah. We'll talk some
Like I said,
logistics, but we can
we
make it
need
happen.
this.
And
We need to have a movement like that. Um, Kendrick pulled it and did his thing, right? And he
Mm.
had all the gangbangers on stage and all that and all this and that, but I asked myself then, and again, these are not shot outs or shots at, it's just truth. What has happened since that?
Mm.
That was one moment in time that was
mm-hmm.
highlight, and shot it takes vulnerability to do that.
Yeah.
But that was a movie,
Yep.
not a movement.
Correct.
Everybody say, let's make a movie. It's gonna be a movie. That night was a movie. a movie. But Put the Guns Down is a movement, and a movement moves. A movement does not have one moment. We got sequels and prequels, and we building a fucking empire off of Putting the Guns Down. This movement is moving, and if you got what you said you got, and we got till October to put it together, brother, it don't.
Well,
a couple
we're gonna get on
phone
the
calls.
phone.
We just have to start, even if only 1,000 show up.
Yep. You got to start
if
somewhere.
500 show up,
that'd be more than
500 more
those
than we
are
would have
500
reached
more
not doing it.
soldiers on the ground with us. But I think we all know enough people that could
definitely.
And we don't want to sell it out. We want to get. It's a vehicle. We want to reach to those that do have it. Give us what we need to make this be free. You know, if we got to get vendors to come out and information
sponsorships and whatnot.
That's what I do. I do concerts, bro. It's what I do. It can be done. We got CJ on here. She's saying it's doable. I know between myself, Suave, Terry, you, and a bunch of other people, if we set that date and say we're gonna do it, it's going to be done.
It's gonna get done.
Don't be on here selling no wolf tickets, nigga. I thought
Mikey don't do that.
Don't you lie to me.
No, I talked to my brother last night because I'm also a partner in a private event and hospitality company, and you know, the long and short of it, we had somebody booked. The person that we booked him through overstepped his bounds, so that arena and that date is open. I mean, we got it booked. We've got it booked. So, hey man, let's do something with it. Let's do something with it. Because again, you're right. We're not here to make a movie. We're here to build a movement, and that's exactly what we're doing.
You asked me to, you know, and it wasn't even about asking me because it's a no-brainer, right? But I was invited to be a part of this live cast and to talk, and that was a seed planted. Terry planted a seed. You've planted a seed in the movement, right? Let's let that October situation be our harvest. Let's bear some fruit for this movement to move, and it's accountability. And we got to call niggas out. We got to call them out.
Right.
We can't be scared to call out names. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we're saying something truthful. I'm not slandering you. I'm not challenging your manhood. None of that. All I'm saying is, nigga, use your influence to save a life.
Exactly. Like you said, it's like there's no argument to say why you can't just pick your phone up and record, Put the Guns Down. And if you can't, then why? What's your problem?
Why?
What's going on there?
And that's the thing. There is a why.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those
powers that be and whatever.
And the why is not rooted in love, whatever it is. No. Either one, you just sold your soul out, and Massa ain't gonna be happy because Massa hired you to mislead us instead of guide us in the right direction. That's one possible reason. The other reason is you got hate in your heart, and you don't want another man to go viral off of your name and your influence. I'm not helping that nigga go viral. I ain't nigga. Have some love, nigga. Show some love and use your influence to save a life. Bottom line.
Too true.
Point blank, period. Point blank, period.
It ain't hard.
And that is justified.
Come to the concert, send us a video. We're going to play it on the Megatron.
Yep.
You booked out of the country, can't be there, send us a video. Every time we go somewhere with Put the Movement and Ice-T can't make it, he send a video. Nigga, send a video. We'll play it on the Megatron.
Yep.
Use your influence to save a life, sucker.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right.
It's that true. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Terry, I'm going to need protection.
Yeah.
Tell the boys we need to protect Justified at all costs because he doing too much right now. He's saying too much.
Keep going.
I need the homies to have my back on this one because there's going to be some mad rappers that ain't got the balls to use their influence to save a life. Mad me. But be mad at yourself. Look in the mirror, nigga. Be accountable.
Yeah. No, that's fucking right.
Unfortunately, that's a scary thing for some people. Accountability.
To make sure Justified's all right. Because you know what they try to do to us black leaders that use our voice to go against their agenda. I'm gonna need y'all to have my back.
Yeah.
Oh my
Serious.
And I'll
That's that
gladly wear that as a
vulnerability that we
target.
was talking about.
It is, and I'll gladly wear that as a target because, again, at the end of the day, what we talked about at the top of the conversation, legacy. I'll tell you right now, I've just met you like this. We've had a conversation previous to this, bro. But I can tell you right now, when your physical is gone, I know what people are going to say about you, bro. I know what your legacy is going to be, and you were doing it for the right reasons. You were a man of intent who moved with the right integrity, bro. And that's legacy, people. You want to know? You want your name to stand for something when you're no longer here? You look at Just Smith right here. You go look at the fathers in hip hop. You put this movement right where it needs to be, in the forefront of your mind, because we're talking about you. We're talking about your son, your daughter, your cousin, your brother, your uncle, your grandma. We're talking about everybody. Exactly. And that's just a fact. That's just a straight up fact. We are going to do this every single week. We are going to be privileged, honored, and blessed to have a cast member or somebody that is associated with this or has been touched by this program and this film and documentary series, which, again, we're only on part 1. We got 11 more to go, people. It takes a movement. We got to build this together. It's not going to be done on its own. So we need you to share this message. One of the big goals right now, we need 3 million people to view this. So where does it start for you today? If you're just learning about the movement today, I'm going to make it very simple for you. Justified told you earlier it takes 2 seconds. I'm going to cut it down to 1. You see an arrow somewhere in here? If you're watching this or you come across
just
it,
share that.
Boom. Yeah. Share it. Boom. You help.
That's it.
Get to 3 million.
They say
There's
sharing
more coming.
is caring.
Man, ain't that the truth? Put the guns down, people. Stop gun violence. Let's be aware of mental health. It's an important thing for all of us. I don't care who you are, where you live, where you've been. The statistic. Amen. Jay-Z said it best. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The numbers and the statistics tell you that you have already been affected or you're going to be affected by this.
Right there. What just got in his hand.
Prime Video, Apple TV,
Peacock,
Google TV, and Peacock.
And it's worth watching. I was shedding tears when I watched it.
Now.
Hey, people.
You can go watch it right now.
Right now. Get off when you're done with us.
Right now. And then you'll see why we're so passionate about it. Go watch it right now. Just turn it on the TV and just hear it while you're taking your braids out, while you're washing your wig or something. Just let it.
Just listen.
You don't got to see it. You can hear it. You can watch it right now. Like, go press play. Turn your TV on. Turn your TV on and go watch it right now.
Exactly.
Like, right now. Not tomorrow. Nigga, right now. You ain't doing it. You watching us. You just watched us for 2 hours. You can go put the guns down. Go watch it right now.
True story.
And share a video of you watching it and let people know, hey, go watch this. Like, we got to make this movement move because they're not going to embrace the movement until they see it moving. There's somebody right now hoping that you don't go watch it. The devil big mad, like, they better not go watch it. You might get some trouble your way when you heed to the spirit, but guess what? You're going to be protected. Go watch the damn movie.
Damn.
And don't just fast forward to 1 hour 41 seconds where I'm at. No, I'm just
right.
Go watch the motherfucking movie, man. Go watch the motherfucking movie.
Oh shit. Yo, I love it. Justified. Truly an honor and a privilege. We thank you for sharing your stories with us today. The part that you're playing in the movement, the experiences that you've had in life. It takes a village. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first of many conversations. And Justified, at the end of the day, our door is always unlocked for everybody to come outside with us, bro. I mean, the door, like we told Terry last week, man, we're taking the door off the motherfucking hinges. There ain't no door. There ain't no door, bro. You can come outside with us anytime you want. You just gotta say the word.
I got your back, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but let's get that conversation in. Maybe not right now because I already gave you motherfuckers 2 hours of my Sunday.
I got a 25-minute ride back down to Kansas City. So if you and Terry got time, I'm gonna be driving in the car. I got 25 minutes to spare. If y'all want to hop on a call real quick,
man. I think the sooner we talk, the better. To visit that date, I could come up. I could do my part. You got half the battle. You got the venue.
Yeah.
The rest is easy work. It's not easy, but it's that much easier not having. We don't have to waste any time because you have a venue and a date. All we got to do is put it together like butt cheeks. You know what I'm saying? That's all it got to do.
Easy.
Appreciate y'all. Discreet, my brother from another over in the
Loesta,
United
love you, bro. I
Kingdom.
see my boy Loesta. If I can, I seen some people tuned in. Loesta tapped in. Homegirl Key Vision One, she tapped in. Shout out to my best friend Sandbox Chico with our media, our Focus Media. I just want to say Chico, but you on here is our Focus Media. Of course, Suave, Terry, and more importantly, you two brothers. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for seeing the value in the movement and making yourself a platform that will not just do a movie, but will be a part of the movement and rock with us, bro. I salute you.
We appreciate
Thank
you, brother.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
you. We're
you,
gonna be
Gus.
talking. Look, Suave and Big T are ready for a conversation, man. So we're gonna get off here. Let me share this. If y'all want to have a
Well, y'all
call,
to
let's
talk
get
my
on the call real
battery
quick.
dead. Give me 20
I'm
minutes
Yeah.
to
done.
charge my phone, nigga. My shit is on 10%. You know what
We
I'm
got
saying?
you. I'll circle back around with you.
Let's do it.
All right, my brother.
Brilliant.
Peace.
God bless you.
I
We
appreciate you, bro.
outside.